Hey guys, what's going on? Intelligent Psycho back here with another stream. So I was gonna talk about this last night, but the Warriors are on a 5 game winning streak now. They won over the Denver Nuggets last night by the score of 118-104. The Warriors are now 46-31, and the Denver Nuggets are 47-31. So as you can see, the Denver Nuggets was pacing the Warriors in the first quarter with 44-34, but the Warriors just outscored the Nuggets all the way through. To give you guys a real quick insight about that, Michael Porter Jr. had 23 points in 41 minutes. Nikola Jokic led the way with 33, 12, and 9. Christian Brown with 16 points in 38 minutes, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. And Jalen Pickett had 8 points. Russell Westbrook had 5, and the rest. Oh, and Aaron Gordon, I forgot to mention, he had 15, 8 assists, and 2 rebounds. Story of the day was Steph Curry led the entire way with 36 points in 32 minutes, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists. Brandon Baginski, he had 26 points, 8 and 6, and Jimmy Butler had 19, 3 and 5 in 34 minutes. So those were your leading scores for that, for the Warriors. Although the Nuggets, both teams were shooting high, over 45% from the field. They shot over 35% from three. The Warriors was just outstanding from the three-point line, 42.1%. Both teams kind of pretty much even out from the free throw line. As you seen, the Warriors went to the free throw line. Although they went a little bit more, they the Nuggets just had slightly a better percentage. And although the Nuggets have more of the size than the Warriors, they have a lot more size, a lot more length and bodies. But the Warriors kept it up with the rebounds. The Nuggets had slightly more assists. But the Warriors, the difference was they caused more turnovers. They committed less turnovers. And although the Nuggets did get more points in the paint, that was because of Jokic. He was just dominating on the boards. And because of the Nuggets' size and the lengthy bigs, that's how pretty much they was out gunning them in the paint. But Steph Curry led the way with 36 points, and Brandon Pajemski, that's what pretty much led the way for them. The Warriors have been winning five games in a row. They're on an absolute hell of a winning streak, and also beating the Lakers the other night as well. And Steph Curry had 37 points. I figured that the time is ticking. The time is going and ticking for Steph Curry. Trying to go for a fifth straight title. For a fifth title, 5th NBA championship, and another NBA Finals MVP. He's not going to get the league MVP at this point. That's going to go to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and it's well deserved for that. But the thing is, with the Warriors, they are going to be on another level, and they're going to continue to make waves and make moves. So I cannot wait to see what happens overall when we get down to it in the playoffs. Steph Curry has been absolutely phenomenal, man. Sensational. 37 years old and still continue to do his thing. Similarly to where LeBron is at, because he's pretty much going to be on his way out. Steph Curry's kind of heading towards that time. Father Time was always going to catch up with people at the end of the day. So we're going to see how that goes with them, man. But salute to that part, and salute to what was to the Warriors, man, because they are continuing to be on a hot streak at this point. So I cannot wait to see what happens. And overall, and I'm gonna get to the point of the last question as well. I'll get to the last question because it's gonna tie in and highlight if Steph Curry is gonna be in the GOAT conversation. But that's gonna be a bigger question and a bigger topic. So I want everybody to get in there to answer that. Hey Sophia, what's going on? So yeah, so a really good win for the Warriors. The Warriors are also 19-2 since acquiring Jimmy Butler. Probably towards towards the middle half of February and before the All-Star break occurred. That's when they acquired Jimmy Butler. So they've been 19-2 ever since. Jimmy Butler adds a lot to the defensive pedigree and repertoire. Their defensive efficiency has gotten better. Their ability to, get hustle plays, get in between passing lanes, causing a lot of double teams, traps. They continue to mix it up with the man and zone man his own coverage. And Steve Kerr, as a coach, has been tremendous this season and tremendous overall with the Warriors, continuing to build this team as they began as their original dynasty and their first dynasty as they continue to move on further. So I cannot wait to see what happens. So yeah, man, that was a good time. Oh, and although they're fifth in the Western Conference, they could be moving up into fourth pretty soon because they do have the tiebreaker right now with this latest win over the Nuggets and the Lakers. So if I'm teams and up in the fourth or fifth seed, I mean in the third and fourth seed, and even in the top two, I would not want to play the Warriors in the playoffs in a 7-game series because you got Steph and Jimmy Butler pretty much are on point. When they're on point, it's going to be hard to really contain them. It's going to be hard to really stop them when it comes down to it. So yeah, those are just my thoughts. So once the playoffs comes, man, I cannot wait to see what's gonna go down, what's gonna happen. And yeah, tell me what you guys think about what happened in last night's game. And the Warriors' next game is gonna be, I believe, against the Suns. Oh, excuse me, against the Rockets, and then Tuesday against the Suns. So that's gonna be another test for them, that young core of the Houston Rockets team. So you'll probably see me cover that game as well tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. So I cannot wait to see what happens with them next. And we can take a look at the standings real quick before I go to the next topic. Was of course you got the Thunder and the Rockets in first and second place. I don't think anybody's really gonna catch up to them per se. Um, and I don't think the Thunder's gonna pretty much lose any steam. The Warriors, although they're still in fifth place, Timberwolves, Clippers. Now, since the Clippers won last night, they've now moved into the seventh spot. The Timberwolves are now in the sixth seed. So if the Lakers playing the Timberwolves, if the playoffs ended today, the Lakers would be in third place and they would be playing the Timberwolves, and that is going to be a tough ass matchup. I'm not going to lie to you. That is going to be a tough matchup for anybody. Like, because especially not only if you're playing up against Ant-Man, man, Anthony Edwards, man, um, Dante DiVincenzo, Julius Randle, that's going to be a tough matchup for anybody to face, especially going on the road to Minneapolis and Minnesota, man. That's going to be a tough place to play, no matter who you're facing up against. So, yeah, that's going to be an absolute trepidatious of a matchup, bro, for the Lakers. So, if I'm them, I do not want to face up against Timberwolves. I will want to face up against anybody else but them. So we'll see how that goes. Now with the Clippers moving up into the seventh spot, that's gonna be something interesting too, as you're gonna have a lot of teams egging off for that spot. And then of course you got the Grizzlies that have been moving down. Dave, I told you about them changing coaches, and the coaching staff later on with them firing Taylor Jenkins, so they moved down to the eighth spot. And to me, they've been so inefficient and insufficient right now. They are pretty much gonna be in shambles until the next following off season and summer camp. So I don't think they're gonna go that far, anyways. And they, to me, have fallen down the rankings. Anyways, now let's get to the next topic. So the next topic I wanted to talk about with you guys is, well, I just saw this headline, this latest headline. So John Morant, if I can get to it. So John Morant, guys, has been fined $75,000 for continued finger gun gestures after warning him to stop. John Morant shot off an imaginary gun. The NBA hit back with a real fine. And the day after Morant again used his aim and a gun gesture to celebrate making three-pointers, the Grizzly star was fined $75K by the league Friday. And this is the second time this week that Morant, who's been suspended twice for 2023 for incidents with actual weapons, heard from the league about mimicking the act of using a gun during a game. And the league called the gesture inappropriate, adding that Morant was previously warned by the league's office that the gesture could be interrupted in a negative light. interpreted in a negative light. The first interaction with the league office rusted in that morning after Morant and Golden State Buddy Hield made the gesture at one another during the Grizzlies Warriors game on Tuesday. And the warning from the league office was evidently ignored since Morant made similar gestures in Thursday's game. The NBA said it happened twice, though it appeared that it had to happen after three of his made three-pointers. The third instance was not shown in the TNT broadcast after the game, and Morant and other members of the Grizzlies had used the gun gesture numerous times this season, including during Thursday night's game in Miami. Morant made a three-pointer in the first quarter of that game, then turned toward the Memphis bench with his left arm fully extended, his right thumb pointed in the air, and his index and his middle fingers pressed together. The other gestures were similar, again directed towards Memphis teammates, and the two suspensions in 2023 cost Morant 33 games and about $8.3 million of salary. And this is the eight game ban of the live streaming a video of which he displayed a firearm in an intoxicated state at a Denver area nightclub. And the other was a 25-game ban after posting a firearm in a car during another live stream video, when the league said Morant wielded the firearm while knowing he was being recorded at the recording was being live streamed on the Instagram Live, despite made good commitments to the NBA and public statements that he would not repeat the conduct from which he is previously disciplined. As Thursday, after he made a game-winning shot at the buzzer to lift Memphis over Miami. About the criticism, Morant said he was well aware of what gets said about him, and I'm kind of used to it. Morant said, I was pretty much a villain for 2 years now. Every little thing, if somebody can say something negative about me, it's going to be out there. So yeah, I don't care no more. The Grizzlies next play Saturday at Detroit. All right, so tell me what you guys think about what went on with Ja Morant. So my thoughts about this whole thing is like, Ja Morant is just young and just, young and so full of himself at this point. He's continued to like make things harder, make things difficult for himself, and make things, and make the league kind of want to make decisions on disciplining him in ways where he's just not getting it. Nah, he's not getting it at the end of the day. He's young and so full of himself and trying to be something, and try to think that he can do things and get away with things not on NBA line, not on NBA's watch or company policy, but you're violating company policy by committing these acts. And it's just to understand that once you're young, once you're young and once you're playing in the league, you got to leave that thug. So you got to leave that mentality, that thug kind of mentality, that imagery, that kind of so-called tough guy mentality, gangster tough guy mentality roll out of the league, because they're not going to continue to allow letting you make a mockery of what's going on, what the league is trying to set an example of rules and discipline of what the league is trying to settle with. And so once you do these things, it's harder for you to gain good graces and gain sympathy and gain some acknowledgement, man, because you do these dumb things out in the public eye. People are not going to look at you the same. People are not going to look at you with the side eye, man. And it just goes to show you that you haven't matured. You still immature. You still in your way. You still stuck in your ways, and you haven't matured enough and been grown man enough to know, especially at the age that you're at, because I believe he's in his early or probably mid-20s. You still haven't been grown enough and matured enough to the point where I can't do these things anymore. I can't do these things like I done before, before I got into the league. And you continue to let your team down. You just changed it. They just got done changing the coaching staff with Taylor Jenkins. Then they changed your role a little bit. So, and because you're not the primary, ball handler, because they gave that a little bit more to Jaren Jackson, because you've been out, from 2023, and then you've been missing some time this season, missing some games this season. So you're not the same player that you once was when you first came out. So I just don't understand, like, what is the mindset that you're trying to prove when doing these things, man? And you keep getting caught up in these kind of incidents, it's gonna continue to hurt you down the long run, man. So I just don't understand what be going on with a lot of these younger guys, younger players. It just goes to show you that, like I said, like I said before, he hasn't matured enough. And to me, I really think he needs to go. He needs to grow up at this point because you're gonna continue to falter and make yourself out to be, you know, looked at with a negative light and looked at negatively in reception from the fans total nonetheless. So those are just my thoughts about the whole John Morant fine for 75K and him using gun gestures. You don't need to do that, man. Just you don't need to do that celebratory and showboating. Just get down on the play and just continue to get back and try to play some defense, man, and be a solid defender, man, and continue to roll into the lane and try to go at the rim and get some buckets and get to the line. You know, you got to go through all these different kind of gestures, bro. It's not necessary. It's just not necessary. Uh, so that would be my thoughts about the whole John Morant fine. So before I get to my last topic, I want to do something extra for you guys. Um, Here I go. So Shea Gilgeous-Alexander had reached 20 points, extends the streak, and passes Michael Jordan. Reaches 20 points Friday night against the Houston Rockets for the 70th straight game, moving past Michael Jordan for the fourth longest single season streak in NBA history. Gilgeous-Alexander made one of two free throws at the end of the third quarter that gave him 20 points and eclipsed the 79 game streak Michael Jordan had in 1990 and 91, and became the first player to have a 70 game streak since the 1960s. He finished with 22 points in the Thunder's 125 to 111 loss to the Rockets, the number two team behind OKC in the Western Conference. Oklahoma City's winning streak ended at 11, and Wilt Chamberlain tops the list with 80 game streaks in both 1961-62 and 1963-64, and Oscar Robertson is third with 76 game streak in 1963/1964. And Gilgeous-Alexander's streak began November the 1st when he scored 30 points against the Trailblazers. And it came in a game after he managed just 18 points and a win over the Spurs, which was the only time this season where he didn't score at least 20 points. Houston, which is the second in the Western Conference, improved, is doing three against the top seeded Thunder with the win. Oklahoma City's lost for the first time since March the 10th. That's a really good accomplishment for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, man. I can tell you he's just on a tear. Like his ability to get to the rim, his ability to extend drives, extend plays, get to his sweet spot, get to a spot on the court. It's just unbelievable. So him reaching this milestone was really nice for him, really good for him. I cannot wait to see big things that what he does in the future for the Thunder, and the big things for the future for the league, as he's going to be one of the young guys that's going to take over. And I cannot wait to see what more things he's going to continue to do, and it's going to be something special. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen, what's going to transpire. So, hey, man, look, continue to strive and continue to prosper, man. Continue to be as big as you are, man, because the more times than not, he's going to be on another milestone, and people are just going to pass it by. And it's sad that people are not talking enough about the Oklahoma City Thunder as they're the number one seed, as they're going to be a team to me, because the competition is going to be a little bit thin in the playoffs, besides maybe like a couple teams. I feel like they're going to be the team that's going to come out of the West, man, and it's going to be representing the NBA Finals. And we're going to be seeing it, and we're going to see it at its core, front, at its crux. So that's just my thoughts. about him getting this streak again. He if he continues to get this if he continues to get this streak of 20 points and extend it more, getting extended past Michael Jordan and get to that Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson territory, I cannot wait to see that, bro, because he is absolutely a monster out there on the floor, man. He is on an absolute tear. Cannot wait to see the more things he does, man. And he's going to continue to get better and better as the years go on and as his career trajectory heads forward. So that's just my overall thoughts about that part. Um, yeah, I'm gonna break some more news for you guys. Um, I'm gonna jump ship a little bit and talk about the NFL. So Baker Mayfield's restructured contract. So Baker Mayfield's Bucks restructured Baker Mayfield's contract. So Baker Mayfield showed his 2023 resurgence was just no fluke, posting best numbers last season. And the Buccaneers went through a transaction that reveals confidence in the former number one overall pick being their quarterback beyond 2025. In their effort to create cap space, the Tampa Bay has restructured Mayfield's contract. The Bucks will save nearly $15 million with this move, according to KPR's sees to Aaron Wilson, who reports that the team's um, base the signing the bonus compensation will leave Mayfield's 2025 cap number at $23.8 million. The Bucks gave Mayfield a 3-year, $100 million deal in 2024, keeping him off the free agent market. With Sam Darnold and Geno Smith now agreeing to their new contracts, Mayfield's $33.3 million ranks 19th among quarterbacks, and Mayfield, 30 this month, secured an additional $10 million in 2025 guarantees by remaining on Tampa Bay's roster as of day 5 of the league year. And there was never any doubt about Mayfield's 2025 status after his 41 touchdown pass 2024 showing, and the 2026 season comes into focus thanks to this restructure. The transaction balloons Mayfield's 2026 cap number to $49.38 million per over the cap and 3 void years after appear on the contract. The move will give Mayfield some leverage as he positions himself for another raise, while the Bucks have their starting quarterback under contract for 2 more seasons. They would now see a $31 million dead money bill if they were to cut him in 2026, and a $22.5 million dead money hit would emerge if Mayfield were to depart in 2027. Though this is no stranger to such penalties after Tom Brady's $35 million void years driven dead cap bill if they hit the team's 2023 payroll, leading to Mayfield's arriving on a low cost accord. Darnold's $33.5 million per year Seahawks contract is a team friendlier than Mayfield's thanks to this structure, but less proven. Secured a higher AAV than the 3-time playoff qualifier, and the Bucks regularly let their players play out of contracts, such as Chris Godwin's timeline most recently showed. But they made an exception to Tristan Wirfs last summer. And with this restructure, strengthening Mayfield's Bucks partnership, the sides huddling up for the 2026 extension talks would make sense. Shifting to the defense, Tampa Bay team's latest Greg Gaines deal is worth $3.5 million and brings $2.25 million guaranteed, signing Wilson asked in the former Super Bowl 59 starter Gaines and signed to the same contract in 3 straight off seasons. Gaines joins Anthony Nelson in front seven pieces to re-sign with the Bucks in March. So yeah, my thoughts about the whole restructure of Baker Mayfield's contract. I mean, Baker Mayfield, out of all the quarterbacks last season, actually had an outstanding and actually had a really good year, had an outstanding year. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I was not the biggest Baker Mayfield fan even coming out the draft, coming out of Oklahoma. I was not a big Baker Mayfield believer because I seen it down there when he was down there, man. He, to me, wasn't the matter of fact of his accuracy. He couldn't throw a spiral ball. Wasn't those elements at all. Wasn't those factors at all. I just didn't see X factor in him. I didn't see X factor in him that he's going to take his prospective regular teams over the hump. When he was with Cleveland, had all those guys, had all those pieces around him. The receivers around him with OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. He had all those big star talented guys around him. And of course, Joe Thomas, the left tackle. He had some big key pieces around him that kind of made him relevant to where he is right now. I didn't think that he was going to be as where he was at this point. So that just goes to show you that he still has, and at that time he had a lot of years of growth and growing to do. And so now, being that he's found his home team, he found his homegrown team to really go and stride and be in stride. I can see now that he is just trying to edge out and become more so the leader and the foregone conclusion of being the leader for the Buccaneers at this point, taking them to three straight playoff appearances and winning the division and hosting a home playoff game, showing that he still got it, man. He still has the tools left, has the tools in the tank to continue to strive. His outstanding numbers last season kind of just proved that to you and show that, hey man, I still can continue to impress and do a lot of things out there that really can make it to make it worthwhile. And not only that, and even still with Chris Godwin gone for the remainder of that year, and then also Mike Evans was gone until week 13, which he was able to pass Jerry Rice, career career receptions leader, man. So that was a good thing for Mike Evans. At the same time, Baker really showed me a lot of something. Didn't show me necessarily that he was gonna be like this top 10 level quarterback per se, but he showed me something that he could still continue to fling it. He could still continue to be accurate when he can be, and when he has time and ability in the pocket. And unlike a lot of the current quarterbacks that they love to put in that elite level status class, like the Justin Herberts, the Brock Purdy's, the Trevor Lawrence, and all these guys, what they don't have is they don't have the overall the instincts out there and the will and the guts and to be able to put it over the top, to put it to a level where they can still be able to have um, they can still be able to produce. They can still be able to produce at that high level and still be able to be accurate, have velocity, able to run and scramble when they have to. You know, Baker did those things last year with the Bucks, and the team still had belief, and the team still had fight left in it, and that's what really counts the most. So, I mean, it was a decent restructure of the contract. I mean, could they find any other better quarterbacks out there? Probably so, but I don't think they was really looking for that at this point. I think they kind of found their future for 2025, 2026, and beyond. So I think that's why they gave it to that 3 years, $33 million $33.3 million contract. I think that's why they gave. Excuse me, 3 years, $100 million contract, but $33 million guaranteed contract money to him because they figured that they had that same belief in him and that had that same factor for him. So that's really what boiled it down to it. So that was a good deal for them and a good deal for him. Uh, Looking forward to seeing what he does in the near future. So salute and shout out to Baker Mayfield for getting that and having that contract restructured and continue to strive. So yeah, those are my thoughts about that, and I will be right back, guys. Hold on, real quick. Oh. Okay, I'm back, guys. So yeah, so that's my thoughts about the whole Baker Mayfield contract. So tell me what you guys think about that. Tell me what you guys think about the Baker Mayfield restructured contract, and tell me what you guys thoughts about him down in the comment section below, or if anybody's still watching in the chat, tell me what you guys think. So now I'm about to go to the last story of the day before I sign off. So I'm gonna do another. I'm gonna do another live. I'm gonna do another one talking about Daredevil, episode 7. So now let's talk about this conversation real quick. So I've been hearing this story in the around the campfire. So Steph Curry, GOAT conversation. Now here here's the opinions of the matter. So now Draymond Green believes Steph Curry's GOAT case differs from LeBron and MJ. So Draymond Green, to no surprise, agrees with Shaquille O'Neal's sentiments that his Warriors teammates belongs in the NBA's greatest of all time conversation. But when comparing to Steph Curry to other basketball legends like LeBron James and Michael Jordan, Green believes the 3-point king stands apart. He's 100% in that GOAT conversation. Green said on Wednesday's episode of the Draymond Green Show with Baron Davis. When you talk about what he does on the basketball court, with all due respect to LeBron, and all due respect to Michael Jordan, there's no one in NBA history that has been schemed against and guarded the way Steph Curry has been guarded. I played in the NBA Finals against the Cavaliers, and he got wide open layups, dunks, and transitions because he's running on the wing, and they rather go run and take the three away from him on the wing and give me a dunk. Still to this day, he's in year 16, and teams still throw 3 or 4 defenders on him, even on a given possession, and even everything is designed to try to take this guy away. The way the game of basketball is played is because of Steph Curry. You tell me the game of basketball is modeled after how you play because you are a special athlete, and everybody thought, yo, this is what we need to do. And you're telling me that guy don't belong in the GOAT conversation. You tell me the game of basketball is modeled on how you play. You telling me that the guy don't go into the GOAT conversation. Money 23 Green and Baron Davis make the case for Steph Curry belong in that GOAT debate topic. And so Curry and his lethal shot is most certainly have changed the game. And while there are arguments to be made for many players as the league go, Curry's size and marksmanship set him apart. And a 36-year-old who turns 37 next week he is still playing like an athlete in his prime and commanding the floor with his gravity. So my thoughts about that. Now Draymond Green agrees with Shaq's sentiment about him being alone in the greatest of all time conversation. So let me just say this. Let me just say this. For Steph Curry, he is a 5-time NBA champion, a 2-time league MVP, a NBA Finals MVP, and is a 4-time NBA champion. Excuse me, a 2-time league MVP and a Finals MVP. And he is on the custom verge, trying to capturing another title and another finals MVP, you know, on his way out. And so you gotta ask yourself this question. A guy who is eclipsed the all-time three-point shooting record, has one of the greatest strokes from the field that the NBA has ever seen, and also uh, has one of the best 3-point percentage marks, not only of this season, but probably top three amongst the best 3-point percentages of all time. Just from that stroke from the left and the right hash, he is just absolutely on point. As we are continuing to see that as we head down the stretch, and not only that, all time wise, his legacy is continuing to go further. And not only that, he's almost not pretty much about around 90% from the free throw line. His his ability to stretch the floor, his versatility around the court is just amazing at this point. And you can never count him out in the postseason as well, because he can actually go off. Then what's underrated is his passing ability, because he's literally almost averaging around 7 assists a game, this season, but also all time he's averaging around 6.3 assists. So, and he's averaging around like 4.5 rebounds. His field goal percentage is always above 45%, around 48% from the field. He never like has had anything below that in his career. So this goes to show you, because of what happens with a Hall of Famer and a current player right now, and current players speaking kindly of him, Victor Oladipo, former retired player, you know, is speaking out for him. Goes to show you that we have a lot of guys that are continuing to make the case for him being in there. And for me just breaking down his overall career and outcome, yeah, of course he belongs in the top 10 conversation. Matter of fact, he might belong in that GOAT conversation when it's all said and done. We'll see how all these guys' careers shake up. And man, it is just an honor to watch him play, and also was one of the reasons why the USA came back after having a troubled time in the Olympics, in the 2025, 2024, 2025 Olympics, having a hard time against three of the top national basketball teams in association, man. So we are seeing greatness as we speak. Literally, Steph Curry, 4 out of the last 5 games in the Olympics, was hitting 16 out of 20 some attempts from the 3 point arc. He was 20 some attempts from the 3 point arc, and he shoots at least around 19 shots a game. His ability to stroke it from the outside and even on the inside of the perimeter, that doesn't get talked about as well. So yeah, man, he definitely belongs in that conversation. So, and if anybody who doesn't agree to those terms, doesn't agree with me, because oh yeah, he only plays on one side of the ball and he don't play on both sides, which that's also kind of idiotic too with it in of itself, because I've seen Steph Curry having to switch up and able to guard some of the best point guards in the game as we speak. Yeah, he's not the type of one-on-one defender like what a Chris Paul could be, or what you know a Tony Parker was, or what a Gary Payton was at some point in time. But that still doesn't go to show you that his ability to stretch the floor and get defenses occupied, 3 or 4 defenders occupied, and to try to get somebody else involved. His unwillingness, his unselfishness to get guys involved. So yeah, those are my thoughts on why he should be not only in the top 10, probably in the GOAT conversation as well. So tell me what you guys think, as I'm going to be out of here just now. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for commenting, and thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. It helps me out. It helps the algorithm out very well. So yeah, as I go, leave your guys' thoughts about these topics, and let me know what you guys think I should talk about next in my other video, in my other videos coming soon. So I want to thank you guys for watching, as I am out of here.